Welcome back to the channel. Today we're shooting a test load here. This is something that I'm making part of my reloading series. I am reloading number 3 still for waterfowl season, since we can't get anything else like bismuth and TSS without 2 arms and a leg and giving up our firstborn child. So it looks like I may have to shoot still this year. So this is a reloaded 2 3/4 Top Gun hull, and I'll show you the components of it on the inside. I'll show you how it's made. All right, welcome to the reloading station. Again, do not duplicate this load. So again, these are Federal once fired 2 3/4. I'm working on a new press here, but I'm going to knock that out. I'm going to put a new primer in. So I got the primer in. Now with my mech loaders, especially loading Top Guns, regardless if it's lead, steel, whatever, on the part that pushes in the primer, I have to run this spacer to get that primer all the way down in there. If I don't, the primer does not seat all the way. Now this washer came with my what is it? This is a Speedmaster. It came with my Speedmaster, but I can use that same washer on my Mech Junior. So it's the exact same part. Typically, if I'm using Federals, I just swap these around back and forth. But if I don't put that washer, I'm not sure if they call it a washer, but it's basically a washer. If I do not put that washer on, it will not seat that primer all the way in. So I have not got any machine set up for load yet, because right now I am measuring powder out by hand. I'm not going to tell y'all what powder I'm using so you don't duplicate it, but I'm using a different brand that kind of looks like this but not that. So do not duplicate this load. I'm going to be weighing that out on my scale here. So let's get that camera moved to it. I'm going to use 23 grains, so let's drop that in there. I will be using my mech. I will set some bushings up for this once I get everything how I want it and the powder just right, so I don't have to manually weigh this every single time. But until I get the correct measurement, I am going to do it by hand. 23 right on the money. Just a hair over. There we go. All right, so I got my primer in. I'm going to drop that into that hole. Make sure I get it all in there. Now, one thing about using a regular loader that I typically use, it's going to take a little bit of different modification. That's why I got 3 set up here. This is typically for my lead. This is for my TSS, and the one behind the camera here is going to be for this steel. So I am using the TUWSBL32. This is the B&P 12 gauge supersonic steel shot load. It's for 1 1/8 ounce 12 gauge. So here it is. There's the model number. So this is a pre-split wad. Now with that being said, like I said, here is lead, here is steel. So when you come down on the loader, typically it will stop right here. Well, if you use this in a regular one, if I put this in here and I go all the way down, that's all the way down. Look right there. My wad is still at the top. Is because I have it set up for reloading the lid. This is where you typically would use your stick to push this down in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this loader right here, and so let's get to it. Alright, there should be a metal plate just like this one that goes right here. I got this machine halfway took apart because I'm fixing to clean it. So typically that metal piece would hold that shell from moving, but I don't have it here because it's in the parts cleaner. So you're going to use this Allen head screw right here to adjust how far that wad gets pushed down in there. This is a spring loaded. There is a spring in here, and we want about typically 40, I think that's pounds. I'm not sure what Met calls it, but we're going to try to put it on the 40. So I'm going to come down on it. I may need to adjust this. So it's going down. It didn't seat all the way. So, oh, wonder why? Because I didn't tighten it down. So let's tighten this down. This is how you adjust it, loosen it, tighten it. Y'all saw that it moved. If you didn't have it tight, then obviously it's not going to be spring loaded. So let's come down. Okay, now I feel it bottomed out. So you see, did you see that right here? It's moving. Right there is 40, and this is not collapsed. So I need to back it off a hair. It's just a little too tight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back down with it. I'm going to let it slide up, tighten it. This is why I like multiple press, so I never have to set it and forget it. So going down, right there. Did you hear it bottom out? It's right on the 40. We can test this with this shell. I can get my wooden stick or the toothbrush here. Don't know where my wooden stick is, but I can push this wad down to make sure it's good and seated, and it is. So now my wad is all the way down. So this is the primer that I'm using. This is the Scduckhunting CX 2000 to 209, and you're going to wonder what the holes are in there for. We'll get to that. So now it's time for my shot size. So I've chose number 3s. I got some number 3 steel here. We're going to put 1 1/8 load in there. So again, I'm going to measure it out. Once I buy my steel bar for my mech here, I will be able to dump the powder, dump the load right there on the mech and never slow down. But while this is in the testing phase, I still want to take my time and hand load these. So I don't know how many pellets is in a shell, so we're going to get it measured out and then we're going to count them up. So since I already had it on grains, it's going to be 492.188 in grains, or I could change that to grams, and that will be 31.893 in grams for 1 1/8 ounce. So again, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to wait for it to zero out. I'm going to zero it out. I'm going to get my measure here that I was using. Knock all the powder off of it. Now typically what I would want to do is do a bunch of them at one time instead of going powder, steel, powder, steel. But right now, for this video, I'm only going one at a time. So I'm gonna have to add a little bit more to it. That was 27. We need 31.8. Oh, got a little too happy. I definitely got too happy. 31.5, 31.7, 31.9. That is very close. So let me get these counted up. Let's see how many number threes that is. All right, so I got them counted up. I counted about 175 pellets. So let's get these poured in. Drop 2. It's going to be a whole lot easier once I get that machine loaded up. One thing about steel, your BB should never go past your wad. That's going to protect your shotgun. So this would not fold correctly because down here is where the pellets are. So I need some overshot cards. You can buy overshot cards, or you can use a hole punch. So what good cardboard there is, just laying around, randomly laying around is crazy. So why not? So I'm gonna put the shot card in. There we go. Now it's time to fold it. So there's the shot card in there. I am going to put an 8 crimp on that. Now I'm going to final crimp it. There we go. So here's a 2 3/4, 1 1/8, number 3 steel, ready to go. So we're gonna put this in my little 3D printed tray here and make more of them. So typically, like I was saying, I would mass produce this. This is how I do my duplex TSS. Typically, I would put a new primer in it. I would put them in here. I would do all my powders. Then I would go back, do all my wads, then go back and do all my steel. Not like I did with this one. I would mass produce it. But with this loader, once I get it set up for steel, that's going to make things a lot easier. So let's get back to making some videos on how it's patterning. But today we're going to be pattern testing it. We're at 40 yards. Got a storm coming in, so I want to get it done before that. So we're at 40 yards. I got the Browning Maxxis 2 with a improved modified choke, a Kicks choke, and we're gonna see what it looks like. Again, don't duplicate this. This is only for a test. All right, so this is the 2 3/4, number 3 steel. We're gonna put it in, and we need to make sure it cycles the gas operated gun. So I'm throwing in a Salt Creek TSS load. This is a 3-inch. So just to make sure we don't have any cycle issues. My good buddy Keith at Salt Creek Ammo was the one who put me onto this load, so we shall see how it goes. All right, 40 yards. It did not have any kick at all. I'm really surprised. Felt like a dove load, seriously. No cycle issues. All right, so here's the pattern. Might need to go and try a full. So the next choke when I make another shell is to try them in full. But let's get these counted. All right, so there was 143 in that circle. Again, I don't even know how many pellets is in this. So the next time I make a shell, I'm going to count them. We'll do the percentage. So let's get to making it. So I'm gonna make 5. I noticed that that choke that I was using was a improved mod for lead, so that would make it even tighter for steel, so maybe it blew out the pattern. So we're going to do some testing here. We're going to make some more up, so let's get to it. Woo, welcome to summertime. By the time I get done making this video, I'm sure I'm going to be soaking wet. But we got 5 shells. We got 5 shells that I made up, still testing. And we got 5 chokes. We got the factory improved cylinder, the factory mod. We got the kicks, vortex mod, improved cylinder, and full. The first video I made was with this improved mod. I think it was too tight, which this is improved mod for lead, so it would be even tighter for steel. So we're starting with the factory and we're going up. So I got paper reset. We're still at 40 yards. I got some more paper here for each choke. We're gonna shoot it, walk down there, look at it, but I'm counting the pellets and doing the percentage inside in the air condition because, yeah, it's hot. So first one up is the Browning factory improved cylinder. I'm gonna put 2 shells in. That way I can test the cycling. So 40 yards, let's go. All right, let's go look at it and reset the paper. No cycle issue. All right, so this is factory improved cylinder, 40 yards. It looks like straight doo-doo. I can basically count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 29, maybe 30 pellets in that 30-inch circle. It did not like improved cylinder, but I will count these up and mark them. We'll look at them again in a little bit. So I got the factory mod going in. See how this looks. Definitely should improve. So 1 shell in, 1 shell to cycle, mod at 40 yards. No cycle issue. All right, that looks a lot better. Factory mod definitely looks better. I still think it needs something else. So let's change the paper out, change the choke. All right, so now I'm switching over to the kicks, chokes. These kick chokes are designed for steel. They're labeled for steel. So if you're shooting bismuth, you need to drop back a choke. But like I said, these are designed for steel. All right, so these are the kicks Vortex. If you see them on the website, these are the Duck Dynasty. They are extended. They are not ported. So these are non-ported chokes, which I like non-ported chokes a lot too when I'm using my shot cam, so it don't get that fireball in it. So shell in, shell to see about cycles. So kicks, improved cylinder at 40 yards. I'm thinking before I even shoot it, I think it's going to be equal to the mod of the Browning, but we shall see. No cycle issue. All right, walking up to it, exactly what I was thinking. The kicks improved cylinder looks a lot like the mod for factory Browning. So again, I'll get these counted up after I go inside. It is literally 100 degrees. So, all right. So, like I said, the Duck Dynasty Vortex mod. I feel like this is probably going to be really close for 40 yards. So, we shall see. Got a piece of grass in there. All right, shell in. One for cycling. Let's see. Somebody called me while I was recording. The shell ejected fine. It cycled. So, it looks a little bit better. All right, so this is the mod, Kicks mod. Definitely more pellets on there. Maybe it needs a full. We're about to find out. Look at my helper today. All right, so this is the Kicks Vortex full. Feel like I've sweated 5 gallons of water out of me. So I can't test, still got that piece of grass in there. I cannot test the cycle issue on this one because I only got 5 shells. So far, have not had any cycling issues. So full 40 yards. Let's go check it out. All right, so it definitely changed the way the pattern looked. So Kicks full. Percentage wise, it looks like there's more on there, but we'll get them counted up. Let me get this down. Let's take it in the house. All right, so factory improved cylinder, 20%, maybe 19%, 34 pellets. It's pretty bad, pretty bad. Then factory mud, 72%. So this is the Kicks improved cylinder, 53. Kicks mod, 76%. It's not bad. That's probably the best one, I think. And the Kicks full, 69%. All right, so this load is still in like experimental mode. We're gonna play around a little bit with the powder. May go down, may go up. I may keep it the same and test it in my Super Black Eagle and see how it works with those chokes. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button. I'll see y'all next time.